So next is the IoT challenges. Many parts of IoT can become reality, but certain obstacles need to be overcome for IoT to become a ubiquitous throughout our industry and our everyday life. The IoT plays very important role. So the challenges of IoT are scale, security, privacy, big data and data analytics, okay, and the interoperability, and these are the very important part of the IoT challenges. So one by one we'll take scale. So when we are going to measure, while the scale of IT networks can be large, the scale of OT can be several orders of magnitude larger. For example, one large electrical utility in Asia recently began deploying IP6 based smart meters on its electrical grid. While this utility company has tens of thousands of employees, which can be considered IP nodes in the network, the number of meters in the service area is tens of millions. This means the scale of the network, the utility is manageable and has increased by more than 1000 fold. Okay, and IP as the IoT network layer, explore how new design application approaches are being developed to scale IP6 network into millions of devices. As I told, nowadays IT is going to use IPv4. The IPv4 is enough for the management of the IT industry. Whereas when you are going to use IoT devices, okay, that IoT IP4 is not enough to maintain the IP addresses, because since we are going to connect the billions and millions of devices to the IoT network, right? So we want to stop the we want to have the more IP addresses, that is IPv6 network, into the millions of devices. So security, next challenge is the very important thing is this providing the security for the data. With more things becoming connected with other things, and people the security in an increasingly complex issue to IoT, your threat surface is now greatly expanded. And if a device gets hacked, its connectivity is a major concern. A compromised device can serve as a launching point to attack other devices and systems. IoT security is also pervasive across just about every phase of IoT. For more information on IoT security, so we can study the in future chapters. Next is the privacy. So as I told that the sensors become more prolific in our everyday lives, okay, because much of the data they gather will be specific to individual and their activities. This data can range from health information to the shopping pattern and transactions at a retail establishment. For business, the data has monetary value. Organizations are now discussing who owns this data and how individuals can control whether it is shared and with whom, right? So because whatever the data the sensors are producing, they are called as the producers. The data is very specific to every individual, because we cannot expect that much data is going to be expected from a particular device. Okay, so that's why, so this data can range from the our health department to the shopping of shopping malls, and whatever the transactions we are going to do it, okay, the maybe that as monetary value. Now, say every organization, since the sensor are going to produce a data for each and every object that is connected to the internet, they want to they want to maintain the data privately of their own organization data, so that data and how individuals can control by reading that data, and it is shared, and and they will maintain the privacy to whom we have to send the data and whom we have to protect from the data, so that they can learn the private thing privately. Okay, so big data and data analytics, IoT and its large number of sensors is going to trigger a deluge of data that must be handled. This data will provide critical information and insights if it can be processed in an efficient manner. The challenge, however, is evaluating the massive amounts of data arriving from different sources in various forms and doing so in a timely manner. Okay, the information on IoT and challenges it faces may from a big data perspective. So whatever the data we are getting from the sensors, right, we want to condense, we want to process that data, because we have to filter the data, we have to condense the data, right? That data we have to must be handled very carefully, because that voluminous data, when we are going to share with someone, right? So that data may be used by some other purpose, right? So for that, whatever the big data we are receiving from the sensors, we have to condense and produce that data, and we have to extract only the useful information, which user and what end devices, what data is required. Only that data we can extract from that big data by analyzing by using some technique. Okay, some machine learning techniques in order to operate that much big data analytics, right? So interoperability, that is very, very important, because as with any other nascent technology, that is the latest technologies, previous various protocols and architectures are jockeying for market share and standardization within IoT. Some of these protocols and architectures are based on the proprietary elements and others are open. Recent IoT standards are helping minimize this problem, but there are often various protocols and implementations available for IoT networks. The prominent protocols and architectures, especially open standard-based implementations, are the subjects of the, the IoT devices and the IoT network. For more information and all for IoT architecture, we are going to study in future sections the different architectures that are made for the purpose of the IoT devices only, and we have the smart objects also to connect to this, and application protocols for IoT, and we are going to learn the more the protocols to make up the IoT more important. So that is about the challenges of your IoT challenges. That is a scale. Okay, you cannot the how many IP addresses we require, that we cannot measure it, right? Okay, that is why we are going to prefer for IPv6. IPv4 is not enough to manage the devices which are going to connect millions and billions of things are going to get connected to the internet. It is very difficult providing the IP address for all those devices. So that is why we are going for the IPv6, okay, Internet Protocol version 6. And as we have know that the data is moving in and around of this network, right? We have to provide the security for the data, and now it has because the things becoming connected with other things, and people, security is increasingly a complex issue for when we are going to connect the IoT things to the internet. So your threat surface is now greatly expanded, means the hackers, so many hackers are there to to hack the information, some important database. It may be related to government organizations, or it may be related to the defense, or it may be related to the navy or army, some secret informations, right? So that is why, so we have to be very careful when we are going to connect the things to the internet, which are the devices are we are able to connect. Only those devices we are connecting, and its connectivity is a major concern, because that is why it is called as a major concern, because we don't know. So now what are the devices we need to connect? We must understand which are the devices we need to connect and which are not connected, which are not to connect. Okay. And IoT security is also pervasive across just about every facet of Internet of Things. Okay, IoT security plays very important role, and whatever the informations we are providing for each and every individual organization or company or education institution or hospital management or home energy, some floods, some buildings, right? That information is very important to have the privacy, because when we are going to allow these to flow in the network, right? So that privacy will not be there. So individuals can overcome all these things by having the privacy. Okay, and whatever the data, that big data we are getting, so analyzing those things and insights, it can be processed in an efficient manner. However, he is evaluating massive amounts of data arriving from different sources in various forms and doing it so timely manner. The information on IoT and challenges it faces from a big data perspective. So interoperability with many other latest technologies, various protocols and architectures are jockeying for the market, and we want to share this information with this. So inter means between the devices or between the machines, the operations should made easy, because that share and standardization within IoT. Some of these protocols and architectures are based on proprietary elements and others are open. Recent IoT standards are helping minimize this problem, but there are often various protocols and implementations available for IoT networks. The prominent protocols and architectures we are going to study in future sections, right? So now we will come to the network architecture. See, for any information, for anything, say for example, designing of any a small object may be, right? Designing of the computer, maybe designing of the laptop, designing of the pen drive, right? Designing of the duster, okay, and designing of any product is plays very important role, that needs the network architecture, right? Similarly, when we want to do the IoT devices, when we want to design the IoT devices architecture, we must be very careful according to our usage, according to our personal information maintenance, according to the important things we have to maintain in the architecture. So architecture plays very important role in designing the network issues when it related to the networks, right? Say for example, if you want to construct a very nice bungalow, right? You are going to the architecture and you are going to make a plan of that. Why you are going to make architect plan? Because of the security, maybe safety, maybe, right? The other things related to the construction of the house may be, right? That is astrology. Some people will believe in astrology, right? And some corner this should be there, that should be there, like that, right? So similarly, when we are going to design the network architecture to handle these IoT devices, right? So need for the architect is the challenges. So what are the challenges that IoT is going to face? We have to think of that challenges, right? Then so we have to the what are the drivers behind the new network architectures, okay? Then we have the challenges. Very important thing is information technology systems need to be designed to withstand the network earthquakes such as distributed denial service, DDoS attacks, future growth requirements, network outages, and even human error, right? So some similarities between IT and OT architectures do exist for the most part. The challenges and requirements of IT systems are radically different from those of traditional IT networks. Challenges posed by the IoT networks and how these challenges have driven new architectural models is that, so we'll study one by one how these new exploration of the network architecture is going to help for the IoT network, because the designing of the architect for OT and IT and IoT is totally different, okay? Because as we are already studied in the previous section, the operational activities of the IT and OT, right, and IoT is totally different from those, okay? So drivers, the following are the areas of design when we are going to design the IoT network. These are the following areas where we have to concentrate more on the construction of the particular architecture for to handle IoT network, right? So first one is drivers behind the new network architecture. Okay. Second one is comparing IoT architecture with other IT and OT architectures. Next is a simplified IoT architecture, the core IoT functional stack. So these are the very important areas for design of IoT network. Let me study first drivers behind a new network architecture, because we were not using the IT and OT architecture for the purpose of the this architect. We are not considering for IoT network, because the OT networks drive core industrial business operations. They have unique characteristics and constraints that are not easily supported by traditional IT network architecture. That is the reason we want some of the networks should be the different from the other things. So when you are going to comparing the IoT architecture, several architectures are being published for IoT, including those by ETSI and IoT World Forum. Okay, so we to compare with a different architecture, right? So several architectures for the purpose of IoT, different organizations are being developed according to their understanding and their requirement of the individual, right? So and then next is a simplified IoT architecture. We are going to study several IoT architectures exist. A simplified model is a foundation for rest of the architecture. So when you are going to make a IoT architecture, the basic things and basic needs we want to understand. So to do that basic understanding and basic needs, what we are going to do is this simplified IoT architecture is going to exist. A model is a foundation for rest of the architecture. Okay, so you have to understand the basic things. That's why we are going to construct a simplified architecture. What are its needs, how it can be evaluated, explored to the outside world, and what useful information is going to be extracted, how that information is going to be transported from the base layer to the top layer, that is to the end users or the end devices. So that's why simplified architecture you are going to concentrate much to understand the basic needs of the architecture. Next is the core IoT functional stack. The IoT network must be designed to support its unique requirements and constraints. IoT data management, this is must be designed to support the unique requirements and its constraints, because this core IoT functional stack plays very important role. So we have to understand the IoT functional stack. What are its functional, how it's going to work, and what are its users. Okay, IoT data management and compute stack. It is going to introduce us of data management, including storage and compute resource models for IoT, and also it involves the edge, fog, and cloud computing. Okay, so which is going to include by all these things, which is this data management and computer stack is going to involve the edge computing, fog computing, and the cloud computing. So in the first part of the drivers behind the new network architecture, we are going to cover the concepts which are going to covered are the scale, security, constrained devices and networks data, and legacy device support. First one, we'll study the drivers behind the new network architecture. Is the key difference between the IT and OT is the data, right? Because the data what IoT is going to produce is totally different from the data which is produced by the IT and the OT. Okay. So while IT systems are mostly concerned with a reliable and continuous support of business applications such as email, web, databases, CRM systems, and so on, right? IoT is all about the data generated by the sensors and how this data, this is voluminous data, is going to be managed with the other devices. Okay, that is data is used. The essence of IoT architecture thus involves how the data is transported, collected, analyzed, and ultimately acted upon. Okay, so next the difference between the IT and OT networks is is that description. The challenge is scale. The massive scale of IoT endpoints that the sensors is far behind that typical IT networks, and whereas the IoT requires the IPv4 address space has reached exhaustion. That is for IT industries, IPv4 is enough to, because, and when we want to have the IoT network, we must have the large number of IP addresses we require. That is the reason why we are going to shifting from IPv4 to the IPv6. Okay, and exhaust is and unable to meet the IoT's scalability requirement. Scale can be met only by using IPv6, because IPv6 is having lot of IP addresses, right? Where it is we can use it for IoT network. IT networks continue to use IPv4 through features like network address translation (NAT). Okay, and come to the next challenge is the security. As we have discussed, security plays very important role in both IoT as well as the IT industry. IoT devices, especially those on wireless sensor network, that is, are often physically exposed to the world. Okay, so means, because since that information is going to be all over the world and it is flowing here and there, security is required at every level of the IoT network. Every IoT endpoint node on the network must be part of the overall security strategy and must support the device level authentication and like encryption. It must also be easy to deploy with some type of zero touch deployment model. Okay. So whatever the data it is going to produce, it has to provide the security for the data, and it requires at every level of the IoT network, because that large voluminous data, whether it may be the data related to some building where the privacy is required for that particular building, right? And some organization, even the organization also need a privacy, right? And security for the data whatever they are producing. Okay, and that is the reason why, so every endpoint node we need a network must be part of the overall security strategy and must support the device level authentication and the link encryption. We want to make the whatever the information we are going to get it as a the encrypted one. Okay, so that no one can read that data, can understand that data. So that level authentication and link encryption point, it must also be easy to deploy with some type of zero touch deployment model. Device and network be constrained by power, CPU, memory and link speed. So challenge is, so when we have these billions and millions of devices are connected in the internet, the data management to maintain that the configuration of the systems also plays very important role. Why? Because due to the massive scale and longer distances, the networks are often constrained, lossy, and capable of supporting only minimal data rates, tends to BPS to hundreds of kbps. New last mile wireless technologies are needed to support constrained IoT devices for long distances. The network is also constrained, meaning modifications need to be made to traditional network layer and the transport mechanism. Okay. Now, drivers behind the new network or the difference between the IT and OT continue. The massive volume of data generated, the sensors generate a massive amount of data on the daily basis. I'm telling you now that they can produce a gigabyte of information for every second. Okay, data analytics capabilities need to be distributed throughout the IoT network from the edge to the cloud computing. In traditional IT networks, analytics and applications typically run only in the cloud. Support for legacy devices. An IoT network often comprises a collection of modern IP-capable endpoints as well as a legacy non-IP devices that rely on the serial or proprietary protocols. Digital transformation is a long process that may take many years, and IoT networks need to support the protocol translation and for tunneling mechanism to support the legacy protocols over a standard based protocols such as Ethernet and the IP. The need for data to be analyzed in real time. Whereas traditional IT network perform scheduled batch processing of data, IoT data needs to be analyzed and responded to the in real time. Analytics software used to mm, position to closer to the edge and should support real-time streaming analytics. Traditional IT analytics software such as relational databases or even Hadoop are better suitable to batch level analytics that occur after the fact. So required the specific architectural, the scale of typical IT network is on the order of several thousand devices, typically printers, mobile wireless devices, laptops and servers and so on. The traditional three-layer campus networking model supporting access, distribution and core with sub-architectures for WAN, wide area network, Wi-Fi data and data center etc. is well understood. But now consider what happens when a scale of network goes from a few thousand endpoints to the few million. IoT introduces a model where an average sized utility factor transportation system a city could easily be asked to support a network of this scale. Based on the scale requirement of this order, IPv6 is a natural foundation for the IoT network layer. Okay, so the frequency and the impact of cyber attacks in recent years has increased dramatically, and we have to protect the corporate data from the intrusion and theft is one of the main functions of the IT department. IT department go to great lengths to protect the servers, applications and the network settings of defense in-depth models with layers of security designed to protect the cyber crown jewels of the corporation. However, despite all the efforts mustered to protect networks and data, hackers still find ways to penetrate our trusted networks. In IT networks, the first line of defense is often the perimeter firewall. It would be unthinkable to position critical IT endpoints outside the firewall, visible to anyone who cared to look. IoT endpoints are often located in wireless sensor networks that use a unlicensed spectrum and are not only visible to the world through a spectrum analyzer, but often physically accessible and widely distributed in the field. The traditional models of IT security are simply not designed for a new attack vectors introduced by the highly dispersed IoT systems. These IoT systems require consistent mechanism of authentication, encryption, and intrusion prevention techniques that understand the behavior of industrial protocols and can respond to the attacks on critical infrastructure. Very important is that I think you people have studied the computer security, cryptography, and network security. There are plenty of rules, plenty of tools are available to provide the security for the network, right? And there is an intrusion detection technique we have, which is it is a prevention technique that is understood by the behavior of industrial protocols and can also respond to the attacks on critical infrastructures of the different networks, right? For optimum security, IoT systems must be able to identify and authenticate all the entities involved in the IoT service, that is gateways, endpoint devices, some networks, roaming networks, and service platforms. Ensure that all user data shared between the endpoint device and backend applications is encrypted. So complete with local data protection legislation so that all data is protected and stored correctly. Utilization of these IoT connectivity management platform and establish the rules based security policies. As I told, that computer network security is having lot of tools and security measures to immediate action can be taken if anomalous behavior is detected from connected devices. Take a holistic network level approach to security. Most of IoT sensors are designed for a single job and they are typically small and expensive. This means that they often have limited power, CPU and memory, and they transit only when there is something important. Because of the massive scale of these devices and the large uncontrolled environments where they are usually deployed, the networks that provide the connectivity also tend to be very lossy and support very low data rates. In IT networks, which works with multi-gigabit connection speeds and endpoints with powerful CPUs, if an IT network has a performance constraints, the solution is simple: upgrade to faster network. If too many devices are on one VLAN and are impacting performance, you can simply carve out a new VLAN and continue to scale as much as you need. However, this approach cannot meet the constrained nature of IoT systems. IoT requires a new breed of connectivity technologies that meet both the scale and constraint limitations. And when you take a data, that is a data what the sensors are going to produce in the IoT network, IoT devices generate a mountain of data. IT shops don't really care much about the unstructured chatty data generated by devices on the network. And in IoT, the data is like a gold. Okay, and as it is what enables a business to deliver new IoT services that enhance the customer experience, reduce the cost and deliver the new revenue opportunities. Although most IoT generated data is unstructured, the insights it provides through the analytics can revolutionize the process and creates a new business models. Example: imagine a smart city with a few hundred thousands of smart street lights all connected through an IoT network. Although most of the information communicated between the lighting network modules and the control center is a little interest of anyone, patterns in this data can yield extremely useful of little interest to anyone. Patterns in this data can yield extremely useful insights that can help predict when lights need to be replaced or whether they can be turned on or off at a certain times, thus saving operational expenses. However, when all this data is combined, it can become difficult to manage and analyze effectively. Unlike IT networks, IoT systems are designed to stagger the data consumption throughout the architecture, both to filter and reduce unnecessary data going upstream to provide the faster possible response to the devices when it is necessary. So come to the supporting legacy devices in an IT organization is not usually, it's not a big problem when it is concerned with the IT organization. But when you come to the IoT network, it becomes a big problem for the computer or operating system to, or a mobile phone is outdated, can simply forcibly upgrades. So when we are going to use the old devices which have less configuration and the old model of the devices, this IoT network will not support such devices and it forces the people or the end users or the devices to update the maybe the old computer systems, maybe less configuration laptops maybe, or it may be the related to the mobile devices maybe, right? So it makes the user to, it makes force us to change over to the updated one. For example, a factory may replace a machines only once every 20 years or perhaps even a longer. It does not want to upgrade multi-million-dollar machines just so it can connect them to a network for better visibility and control. However, many of these legacy machines might support older protocols such as serial interfaces and use RS-232. In this case, the IoT network must either be capable to some type of protocol translation or use a gateway device to connect these legacy endpoints to the IoT networks. Okay. So when we are going to do the architecture standards, there are some architecture standards we are having. The one is a M2M IoT standardized architecture. The second one is a IoT World Forum standardized architecture. Okay. The other one is IT OT responsibility, it's IoT reference model. So and then additional to reference models. So we will study first one, the one M2M, machine to machine. That is M2M is nothing but a machine to machine IoT standardized architecture. Okay. This standardizing the machine to machine communications, the European Telecommunication Standard Institute, that is a ETSI, created the M2M common architecture that would help accelerate and adoption of the M2M applications and devices. And this one M2M launched by the European Telecommunication Standards Institute, right, is to create a common service layer which can be readily embedded in a field devices to allow communication with the application servers. One M2M's framework focuses on IoT services, applications and platforms. These include smart meeting applications, smart grid, smart city automation, e-health and connected vehicles. So when come to the architecture of this M2M architecture, IoT standardized architecture is dealing with the heterogeneity of the devices, software and access method. Heterogeneity of the access means different devices, different way they are going to access. That is we call it a heterogeneity. One M2M is a developing standards that allow interoperability at all levels of the IoT stack. Example, automate a HVAC system by connecting it with a wireless temperature sensors spread throughout your office. Sensors that uses a LoWAN, that is a long range wide area network technology. The problem is that low range wide area networks and the BACnet, that is a building automation systems that have a HVAC and BMS, okay, run on or completely different systems, okay, and have no natural connection point. So in this way, this is we can call it as a heterogeneity of the devices, because here long range wide area network, right, and building automation systems, and then heating, ventilator and air condition systems, and BMS, the building management systems are completely different from one and each other. So that is a natural. This is where the one M2M connection common service architecture comes in. The one M2M horizontal framework and RESTful APIs allow the low range wide area network system to interface with the building management system or an IoT network, thus promoting end-to-end IoT communications in a consistent way, no matter how heterogeneous a network is. Okay. So that is a one M2M architecture that divides IoT functions into three major domains: the application layer, service layer and the network layer.